All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Thursday, March 17th. Great Brunello tasting last night. Man, a lot of drinking in the store the last couple days. Finally getting caught up here. I think this actually is what I drank yesterday. Don't be alarmed. I'll be okay, folks. I am a trained professional. All right, well, let's start out in the store. We had a couple of wines from Antica Winery. This is a project that Piero Antinori originally developed with a few partners, the Whitbread Brewing people out of England, and then Champagne Bollinger. And high up in the eastern mountains of the Napa Valley, most people wouldn't consider this a great place to plant grapes before these guys developed this property. But hey, who are you to question Piero Antinori, huh? 600 years worth of experience growing grapes in Italy, huh? But turned out to be a spectacular vineyard up there. I was up there when the folks at Allied Domecq were partners with Antinori, and we had dinner there with George Hamilton and Danielle Steele. I'll never forget the night up there in the caves. But like I said before, an absolutely beautiful property. Started out making Sangiovese. Hey, Antinori's from Italy, from Tuscany. What do they have in Tuscany? Sangiovese. Well, you know what? They found out over the years that Sangiovese, not so good for Napa Valley, for the most part. You know, what does Napa Valley do good? Bordeaux varietals. Hey, you know, a little Chardonnay also. And up here, now they've got about 50% of the vineyard planted to Cabernet Sauvignon, 25% to Chardonnay. They've got some Syrah up there, some Cabernet Franc. They've got a little bit of Sangiovese still. Okay, well, you can't take it all up, you know. They're all Antinori's from Tuscany. But like I said, a beautiful property, some great wines. 2004 was the first vintage under the Antica label, but they were making great wines under the Atlas Peak label. Some very good stuff, but this is really exciting. And hey, if you would have told me I like the Chardonnay better than the Cabernet, I would have said you're crazy. But the Chardonnay, outstanding. One of the best Chardonnays that I've had thus far this year. From the 2009 vintage, this wine is a blend of 5 different clones of Chardonnay. I'm not going to go through that with you. That's so cork-dorky if you talk about clones, but it does make a difference. We learned that in our blending seminar with Anthony Bell, which, hey, we got an offering coming out on his Taliana next week. All right, but this wine, very Burgundian in style, really clean, fresh green apple and lemon citrus fruit there, lightly toasted oak spice, vanilla, and a nice amount of underlying minerality. You can notice it in the nose and definitely on the finish in this wine. But on the tongue, very balanced, lovely fresh citrus again, and that fresh apple and a hint of pineapple also, notes of creme caramel, and that wonderful minerality showing again on the finish. That's one of the things with acidity that carries the finish on and on in this wine. Had a very long finish. Most excellent stuff at 35 bucks. We got a great price on this wine. All right, the Napa Valley Cabernet. Well, the great Renzo Cottarella, of course, Antinori's top gun, who makes the Solaya and the Tignanello and all the other top wines in Antinori's Tuscan estates. Of course, has got his hands in this. And, well, let's see. This is a blend of a couple different clones of Cabernet, but it's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, so a blend of Cabernet and Cabernet. Okay, and the vineyard is densely planted, 3 tons per acre, which means lower yields. They're looking for about 1 bottle per plant here, folks. So very expensive farming to make this wine. And hey, 49 bucks. This wine's not cheap, but hey, it's half the price of many of the other Napa Valley wines with a pedigree of Antinori name attached to it. Okay, well, this wine has got some lovely fresh earth to it, some black currant and black cassis berry fruits. On the palate, it's got some lovely plum and cherry fruit, touch of dark cocoa, fresh herbs, big and chewy, but the tannins rather sweet and round. This 2007 vintage, a great vintage for Napa Valley, very long growing season. You could pretty much wait and pick whenever you wanted to in Napa. So what do you get? Perfectly ripe grapes. And I think this is a vintage that's going to drink consistently its whole life. But lovely freshness carrying this wine through the finish. Really nice, big Cabernet, but also balance, has that elegance of old world style that the Antinoris bring to the table. Great stuff. Next up, hey, more royalty. This time from the Napa Valley, one of the Mondavi family stopped in with the new vintage of Continuum.